Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Some of you remember I made a video for action cameras under the water, and one of them was the Insta360 X5. In that video I used Insta360 X5 without any dive case, and I highlighted that the 360 cameras without the dive case are useless under the water. Some of haters blame me that I should know it, I shouldn't do it without the dive case, but the fairness of that test, I tested all of them without any dive case. So in this video I will be introducing you a new tool, Insta360 X5's Invisible Dive Case Pro. And why they call it Pro, I will explain it later. However, first let's open the box. Alright, this is not your average dive case. The Insta360 X5 Invisible Dive Case Pro comes in a massive box. Seriously, this thing looks like it's hiding a mini submarine inside. Let's open it up and see what kind of secrets it's holding. Actually, you know what? I've got no patience for peeling layer after layer. Let's just shake this thing and drop everything out. Yep, box inside a box. Classic Insta360 move. And the smaller one, that's basically the accessories for the accessory. Let's check what's inside. A GoPro style anti-tilt 1/4 inch prong adapter, 12 anti-fog inserts, a GoPro thumb screw, and a nicely wrapped storage bag. We will get to that in a bit. Now, what's this little mysterious piece? That's a light blocking cover made specifically for the satin white limited edition of X5. Since the white body can reflect light and cause flares inside the dome, this cover helps cut down reflections and gives you cleaner underwater footage. And yes, they even included detailed instructions on how to install it properly. Definitely worth reading. If you're using the black edition, you don't need those covers. Alright, let's move to the second box inside the big box. Here we got a weight block. This chunky piece helps balance the dive case underwater. It's really heavy but super useful once you are shooting below the surface. And apart from that, nothing else left in the box. Now the star of the show, the dome itself, is wrapped up in plastic, and wow, it's big and bulky. Once we unwrap it, you can see those solid latches that keep everything sealed tight. Pop them one by one, and inside you might notice a little moisture, but don't worry, it disappears quickly. You will also find two small cardboard pieces. Replace those with anti-fog inserts. The body is made of polycarbonate, and the dome uses pro-grade glass for maximum optical clarity and minimum distortion. So your underwater footage looks sharp, clean, and super detailed, hopefully. There's also a manual in the box, and trust me, read it. It will save you from a lot of underwater headaches and bad footage. This one is way much bigger than the old one. And you see here, the stitching line now separated more than the previous one. This is heavier, this is bulkier, and this is bigger than the previous version. And one of the best things about this one, it is automatically recognized by the case. So as soon as you put inside, there are magnets inside it, and those magnets will help the Insta360 X5 to recognize that it is using Invisible Dive Case Pro version. There is one catch here. You should be very careful to close these latches perfectly, otherwise it may recognize it as a lens guard, which may impact your stitching at the end. So where am I? I'm in Fujairah, and it is in the United Arab Emirates, an amazing Emirates in the UAE, which you may not be aware of it, because when you say United Arab Emirates, everybody knows about Dubai, but nobody knows about Fujairah. The Fujairah has amazing underwater life, and you can see turtles, you can see even sharks, but reef sharks, harmless ones. I saw one, I'm not sure I could catch it perfectly. I will put the image here, maybe you can pick it. And this one you see that is the Snoopy Island. Today there's a low tide, so no ocean actually, but still I managed to get some incredible footage here. In order to use this one, they send it with the weight balance adjustment. This is very heavy, guys. However, the problem with this one is it's extremely buoyant. This wants to float on the water like a lifesaver jacket, and that's why without this weight adjustment it is not possible to use it underwater, otherwise it will push you to the surface. By the way, I will definitely suggest using Insta360's action selfie stick with this one. I've used something else, I couldn't find it at the moment. Actually I've ordered, but it was delayed a little bit, so I always use the Insta360's extended selfie stick. But I'll be honest with you, with this one it is not possible to use the extended selfie stick, and I will definitely not recommend using the extended one 3 meters under the water. This is not one of the best selfie sticks, I will say, to go deeper in the water. However, this is still good enough for me, and with the weight adjustment I think it feels solid in the hand, but it is very heavy in the hand. Whenever I take it under the water it feels very light because it always wants to go up the surface again. I think they made it to float half underwater, half above water, so this will float. And if you're using with the selfie stick, the lens side will try to stay on the top, but the bottom part will try to go down, which will help you to replace, if you have legs like this, tripod legs, to replace to the bottom of the sea and take your selfie there, or leave it for a while. Maybe the fishers will be curious and will try to investigate this one. And it comes with a pouch like this. The good thing about this, you can replace it with a selfie stick and lock it, so you don't have to remove the selfie stick all the time. This one, if you're using it with the scuba diving equipments and you can attach to your life jacket or your carrying bag or whatever, you can take it underwater. I'll be honest with you, the previous one was lighter. And by the way, I used Insta360 X4, X3. But the biggest difference is this is almost 2 times heavier and bigger than the previous one. On the other hand, this one is not also drop proof. As soon as you are above the water, the drop will be seen on the lenses. One thing made me happy and at the same time annoyed me is, in order to get a perfect shot under the water, it has to be straight like this. They made a special design. It doesn't let you flip it, bend it, and it stays always, as you can see, straight line, which is good. But there's one downside. If you want to shoot single lens, you cannot keep the camera like this, right? It will not shoot you. You have to keep it like this, and this will prevent a wider angle. There is a fix for this. However, you need to fully remove, and then you need to attach this way, and then you can mount this way. The process is not easy. If you want to switch from the 360 mode to the single lens mode, it may be a bit difficult, but it is not impossible. You can still do. From this angle, you cannot put it back to the straight line unless you still want to remove this and mount it again. If you have no intention shooting in the single lens mode, maybe you wouldn't mind. But if you want to do both, then it may be a bit challenge for you guys. I tested in this video 8K 30 FPS, 8K 30 FPS also in pure video mode, 5.7K 60 FPS, which is my favorite by the way, also 4K 120 FPS. Okay, let's continue with the Insta360 X5 and I will tell you my final thought. Despite I did everything written on the instructions, like updating to the latest firmware, how to hold the camera, updating the latest app, I've done everything guys, but unfortunately there is a huge stitching visible in the shot, and I changed some of the settings and tried the next day. Those stitching lines still visible. In 2 days I went 3 times diving, still the stitching lines are available. Now I start to think that this is not related to user error. I may have made mistake, I don't know. I checked everything, but it doesn't look like I made a mistake here. I opened a case with the Insta360 support. They try to help a lot, I'll be honest with you. But there was one point, and they may have a point, because I haven't used the original selfie stick. As I mentioned, already ordered, but it's delayed. And now I received that invisible selfie stick approved by the Insta360 original one. However, I have no chance anytime soon to go back that island. It's a bit far away from me. That's why I decided to make the same test, this time with the original Insta360 invisible selfie stick. And I'm still disappointed because the result is same. So no, it is not related to what selfie stick you are using. It is most probably related to the case itself. in one of my footage they said I am holding the selfie stick like this, not straight away, and they told me I should put it straight away. However, out of my 20-30 clips, they found a couple of frames that I hold it not straight. I showed them where I exactly hold the selfie stick straight, and eventually they acknowledged the issue. I think they will be working on a fix for this one. I'm not sure when the fix will come. They additionally sent me a firmware. I think this firmware specially for me. They created one. The same version of the latest version, but it's the alpha version they call it. I tested a couple of clips, worked very well actually, but the remaining still had the same black seam issue. Even when the fix came, I realized that some of the footage, they even cut my hand more. And Insta360 was kind enough. They said that we are very happy to work with you because I provided them my raw footage. And I clearly explained them what is causing the result. The story hasn't ended here, but I'll try to update if it's fixed or not. By the way, I really like Insta360 products. I'm very big fan of the Insta360, and that's why I wanted this product work perfectly, better than the previous one. However, it has more issues than the previous version, the smaller version. If you have to buy it today, I think you should go for the older version, which the new version, I feel that it is not ready yet. This doesn't mean it will not be ready at all. I've also realized one thing from the other YouTubers who promoted this product. They don't show their hands. They may be shooting in the very dark and this black seam is not visible. To be honest, I saw only a couple of videos about Invisible Dive Case Pro. If it's so good, I think most of the YouTubers would promote this, but no. Only 3 videos I've seen in the YouTube. Alright guys, so I've exported all the footage straight from the Insta360 Studio app. Full send, highest bitrate, sharpness on medium, because you know, we like it crispy but not too crispy. Now the Invisible Dive Case Pro. Honestly, this thing's doing a pretty solid job as long as you're not trying to film yourself underwater. The image quality actually looks good. But I did notice something. The footage is sharp in the middle and kinda takes a nap around the edges. Like center in 4K, corners in 480p vibes. Now here's a surprise. The 4K 120 FPS footage, I was fully expecting mushy potato quality because of the lower resolution, but no, it's actually really good. Compared to the 5.7K 60 FPS HDR, it is softer sure, but way cleaner. Almost no noise at all. I usually throw on Clarity Plus just to squeeze a bit more detail out, especially for that buttery slow motion. Now speaking of 5.7K 60 FPS HDR, yeah, that's once kinda noisy, like sandstorm underwater noisy. Even Insta360's AI noise reduction looked at it and said, yeah bro, I'm out. So yeah, avoid HDR underwater unless you are into that grainy vintage look. As for pure video mode, not much of a game changer down there. Some clips look nice. Like this one, it really looks cleaner, almost no noise at all. However, look at this clip, like this gorgeous turtle shot, turned out blurrier than my vision without coffee. And check out these fish groups, beautiful, colorful, and completely blurry. But to be fair, that's just 360 cameras being 360 cameras, not the dive case's fault. It's just part of the deal. But here's the thing, you can get these angles with a traditional camera. It's just not possible. Yeah, we lose a bit of clarity with 360 cameras, but in return you get these epic wide shots. It's like having your own personal camera crew following you around. Alright, so let's talk about single lens mode for a second. In the center it actually looks pretty good. Nice details, solid sharpness. But then you look at the size and boom, it just falls apart, super blurry, almost like you smear Vaseline on the lens. And honestly, 4K 60 FPS here, kinda noisy, like way more noisier than I would want underwater. To be real with you, smaller action cameras like a GoPro or Insta360 Ace Pro 2 or even the DJI ones, they actually hold up better. Plus, you don't need to lug around this massive dive case the size of a lunchbox. The purpose of this case is, instead of domes, now they have optically corrected glasses. The stitching line, if it's still there, I don't care how good the image quality is because it shows me in a very weird way. They may fix it with another firmware update. My review is an honest review. I don't want to give you wrong idea, and I really wanted to say that this one is really perfect. Image quality is perfect. But no, this is, yes, image quality, if you're not holding to yourself, it is very good. I have no complaints. But because of the stitching line, no, I wouldn't say the image quality is very much better than the regular invisible dive case, not the Pro version. So don't buy yet the invisible dive case Pro until you hear there is a fix coming from the Insta360. And thank you for watching. Please don't forget to watch my 4 action cameras underwater video. I'll drop the link down below, also put it at the end, and see you in the next one.